Maybe you are a completionist who wants to get every Crimson Days item. Maybe you aren't going to spend too much time in Destiny 2, and you want to make the most of that time. Regardless of the case, we are going to showcase the fastest ways to get Crimson Engrams in Destiny 2 for the Crimson Days event. What is up, guys? Rick Cacus here, and yes, we are going to be discussing the fastest farming methods for Crimson Engrams during Crimson Days in D2. Now, there's actually a couple of different methods we're going to go over, so if you don't like the first one, just stay tuned. You might like the second one a lot better. And it should be noted that while most of the ways you get Crimson Days loot is just from these Crimson Days engrams, you can also get specific loot for doing specific things. For example, there's rewards you get for Crimson Days for beating the raid. The exotic ornament for the Wardcliff Coil exotic is one of those. So if you want to get those rewards, you're going to have to do those activities, but again, most of the other rewards lie within these engrams. So how exactly do you get these Crimson Engrams? Well, firstly, just by leveling up beyond your maximum level, which is 25 if you have Curse of Osiris, 20 if you don't. Normally, when you level up beyond your max level, you just get an illuminated engram that you decode at Eververse for vanity items, but now you're also going to get a Crimson Engram. But there is another way, and it is the topic of our first farming method. You can actually outright get Crimson Engrams from the end of the Crimson Doubles playlist. Yep, for doing that playlist, at the end of the match, you can just get Crimson Engrams without having to level up at all. So grab a teammate and get grinding. Crimson Doubles is probably going to be the most efficient way to get Crimson Engrams, but it does have a couple of problems. Even though it is the most efficient, it is still random, which means that, when I played with my teammate, he got 2 Crimson Engrams the first 2 games we played in. That's insane. That's a huge rate for getting those items. I got none the first 2 games, right? And so, depending on your luck, you might be showered in Crimson Engrams, or you might get none. And that's a big problem. This method does lack consistency. Also, let's be honest, it's going to be pretty brutal if you're a solo player. Going in by yourself against mostly teams of 2, it probably won't be the most enjoyable experience. And I know a lot of you out there just don't like PvP at all. You get killed with a Uriel's gift again and again and again, to the point where if you see that gun again, it gives you a twitch in your eye, right? So, although that is, again, technically the most efficient way, let's talk about a different way for the solo players and those of you who, again, are kind of sick of PvP. And that way is just relying on the method to get Crimson Engrams when you purely level up. So for this farming method, you're going to need to do a couple of things. Number 1, make sure you grab a Fireteam medallion from Eververse. They're only 50 bright dust, and they grant you increased experience for pretty much everything you're doing. Public events, strikes, Crucible. So even if you are doing the first farming method, you should grab one of these as well, so you still level up faster and get more Crimson Engrams that way. But again, the second method, you want to grab one of those, and then you want to farm heroic public events. Farming heroic public events is the fastest way to level up in Destiny 2, and therefore get as many Crimson Engrams as possible for leveling up, but there are a couple of asterisks beside that. Number 1, you want to make sure that you are doing this farming in the Flashpoint planet, which right now is Earth. That's a great thing. There's a ton of different areas in the EDZ that you can go to, and you're likely always gonna have somewhere to go to do a public event. But again, it's gonna be much better than farming on Nessus, because when you have a Flashpoint on a certain planet, there's going to be secondary bosses that spawn and stuff like that, and those are going to give you much more experience than a normal non-Flashpoint public event. Also, you want to make sure that you are always activating the heroic mode to public events. If you're a newer player and you don't know how to do any of those, bada bop boom pow, right above, click this video and it'll show you how to activate every single public event in the game. But seriously, doing the heroic versions are basically going to double your experience gains. And this also means that if you're a solo player, even if you know how to activate heroic public events, some of them can be pretty tricky solo. So you do have a chance to always pretty much guarantee that you're getting into group settings within public events, and that is just re-travel somewhere. If there's a public event happening, let's say in Trossland, the very first area, and you travel in and you're solo, you're by yourself, that is kind of annoying. And again, it can be a challenge to do that public event, especially the heroic version, solo. All you need to do is reload into that same area, reload into Trossland, and if there's still no one there, do it again, do it again. After only a few times, you should load into an instance where you see more people running around, and then just do it with those extra people. It'll be so much easier to complete. And so guys, that's really all there is to it. Good luck getting the loot you want to get. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.